Hey, welcome to my show. This is Michael Anthony Joseph, and yes, this is my first podcast. So you're going to hear my voice. And guess what? I have a special guest. His name is Anthony Aroya, and he is a voiceover artist as well as a movie star, TV star, mentor.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
this
piling on.
guy is just, he is the man, and he's the best person I could think of to come be on my first podcast.
Thank you.
Tell us about yourself, Anthony.
First of all, after that intro, man, I'm not sure I can live up to it. Look, man, I had a love for movies and music and old TV shows and all that stuff. I was raised by my grandparents, so my house is full of Sinatra and Nat King Cole and I love Lucy and the Honeymooners. And I said, well, I don't have any musical aspirations. I can't play a tuning fork. But I said, I like that acting stuff, you know. And, when you're little, man, you might be a astronaut, you might be a doctor, you might play for the Mets, which I thought I would, so much for that. And then you segue into high school years, man, and now you're chasing girls and trying to figure out where these hormones are going. So, and then one day, midlife, literally 44, I said, you know what? Let me try this voice acting stuff. Sometimes people say, oh, you should try that. You should try that. And when you're a young guy chasing girls, you don't want to hear that stuff. You're just trying to get naked. So I said, yeah, okay, sure. If you think I should, sure. After we get through here, I'll try this voice acting stuff. And I gave it a shot, and I was like, well, I'll be damned. It's fun.
On that note, my reel is still playing. It must have started over again, right? I don't even know. Okay, but it's really more about you right now, so it's not really about me. But I always like to discuss, where you've been, where you at, and where you're going. And you've already made huge steps in an industry that's kind of hard to get into.
Impossibly hard. Because when I first started out, I wouldn't have hired myself. A million mistakes. Let me tell you what. When I first started out, '09, man, I was sitting in front of a large window on my couch. I had taken a large laundry bin, and I cleaned it out. I went downtown to this little place called Canal Foam. Canal Foam has been there since the covered wagon days, damn near. Everything else Canal Street has changed, but Canal Foam Street, a little house on the prairie. And I brought some soundproof foam, didn't know what the hell I was doing. Turned one of my closets into a recording booth, put a lot of soundproofing around. But before I did that, I was recording in front of a window, a lot of noise outside, inside this laundry bin with a blanket over my head. And I was getting work. Impossible as it sounds, I was getting work. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. I mean, taking an hour to record a job that should have taken 5 minutes. Mind you, life is the best teacher because since those days, I can record in 30 seconds what would have taken me, no lie, a half an hour to do when I first started. But it makes sense because you're stumbling around and you don't know what the hell you're doing. I'm used to going to work taking care of my kids, the voiceover stuff. I don't know what this is. Let me learn.
I want to show your footage because I don't want to keep our producer hostage. So let's show your commercial with that basketball player. You see how I said that, right?
Yeah.
Because you're more important.
This is your moment. Yeah, let's go. Come on. Do it for the cookies. Warm cookies. Pull, Kringle. Pull. Go. Stale cookies. Big and gluten-free cookies. Is it the stress? Pain? Mrs. Claus? What's really holding you back, Chris?
Come on. Don't let Rudolph steal the show.
There are guns to all, and to all a good night.
I want to say the highlight of what I've been doing. That's the highlight because I looked on the the views for that maybe a month or two after we did it, and it was almost at 400,000. I was like, wow. And it hit me. Of that 400,000 views, some of them were guys that I watch playing in the NBA all the damn time because they're his peers. And I'm sure they watched it because he told them about it. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Now, you work your ass off in this business, and you know this. For a 30-second commercial, I work 9 hours for that. And people do not know that we in the industry work our asses off for a 2-hour movie. You know what I mean? Be it Lean on Me, right? Which, like, when I saw you in that, I was like, this is some mind-blowing stuff. Look at you getting tough with Morgan Freeman. and whether it's a commercial or a movie, the 30-second commercial, 8 hours to film. The 2-hour movie, 3, 4, 5 months to film. But no one in the industry understands that when they see the immediate result in that little box universe, they didn't see the work that went into it.
Well, that's the whole career is like that as
career.
well, you know. I want to show you other stuff, but I want to say something.
You're getting a beat
A
down
lot
here,
of
bro.
people don't see the big picture. They, like you said, they see the finished movie and they're like, yeah, but they don't know it took 3 months to do it. But it's also like that with careers. People see the plane, the private jet, the mansion.
Sincerely.
They see the bling bling and all the gold, and they don't know all the work that goes in behind it. And the sad thing is that people may have star quality, may have the talent to become stars, but so many people are out there selling bullshit, you know, and these fake companies are charging them for pictures and to walk a runway when they're not runway models. You know what I'm saying? They don't give them the proper guidance, you know, and it's sad because a lot of people give up on their dream and they never go forward because they wasn't pushed in the right direction. But you know, it's good. Like when I listen to you and you say that you made your own little sound booth and you know, started from there. That's because you knew what you wanted.
Yeah, I also know I was stepping in quicksand the way I was doing it, because imagine being stupid enough to record in front of a bay window with a school down the street, living on a 3-bus lane. And I'm like, what's wrong with all these kids? What's
But that's the
wrong with all
only
these
way you're
buses?
gonna. Yeah, but that's how you learn.
Yeah, sure.
You learn by overcoming obstacles.
No doubt.
You don't learn just from things being easy. You learn from things being hard. It's the struggle that learns.
Sometimes fate is the best teacher. My mother left a scarf inside my closet. I said, well, would she leave her scarf inside my closet? I went to put it in her closet. And as I'm hanging the scarf or blouse, whatever it was, in her closet, I'm making room to hang her blouse in her closet. And as I'm making room, I keep going like this and going like this. I'll be damned. Her closet is twice as big as mine. In 4 seconds, I was throwing her stuff on the living room couch. And she said, what are you doing? I said, that's my recording booth. And I bought that phone, like I told you, the next day. I was not playing games because I knew that I wasn't making fast enough strides. You know, an ant can crawl across the Sahara Desert if you give him 35 years. He'll get across. I was like, I didn't have any time to waste. I'm not 25 years old. And speaking of 25, I'm going to piggyback on what you said a minute ago. And you're right. People get ripped off for their dreams every day. They come from Topeka, Kansas, Spokane, Washington. They got their eyes wide open. And there are vultures waiting for them. I've met vultures, and fortunately, my New York radar allows me to know when a vulture is a vulture. But I think a lot of young kids want to be Pitt, Clooney, and Cruz before you even did background work. Don't do that to yourself. You're going to lose. You don't need to be these guys. They're all multimillionaires, but they've been doing it 40 years. You got to take your shot. When young kids ask me, yo, Tony, what should I do to do a background? Take your behind to castingnetwork.com, backstage, actors access, whatever, and start doing background. Meet a PA, meet a production assistant, meet a whoever the hell, the guy that runs the crafty truck before you try to become Pitt, Clooney, or Cruz. They're already there, man. You know, and if they do that, if they keep it right there at that level and build, let the water rise, they'll make a hell of a lot less mistakes, man. I'm telling you they will.
Well, my thing is, I tell people they need to find their niche. You have to think about it as what are you selling? Because you are selling something.
For sure.
It's a product. You are a product. So those people who want to be Clooney or Brad or Pitt, be Pitt or Clooney. One, do you have the look? These guys are known for their look. You know what I'm saying? Brad Pitt was a pretty boy. You know, when he came in, he was a model. They were girls were taking pictures of him, taking the pictures of his six pack, and they wanted him to be more. But I met Brad Pitt on The Devil's Own, and
Very cool.
and we played kick the can. We was kicking the can back and forth to each other.
No way.
In between this shoot. And he said, well, I said, what's your thing? What is it? He said, well, I can do accents. He said he practiced accents. So he can do different accents. And you have to find your niche. When you look in the mirror, that's what people are going to see.
100%.
They're going to see what's in the mirror. They don't know who you are as a person. They don't know what your personality is.
Right.
But all they know is that they're going to judge you by what you look like.
Off the rip.
And that's the type of work you're going to get. So if you know what you look like, and if you know what your niche is, then you know what to sell.
Right.
You know? If I can sell, Are We There Yet? You know, that's what they told me. When I went back in, I submitted to an agent I went to the SAG, and I did a class. You know, when you can go to Casting Access and you can perform in front of a casting director
Right.
through the Screen Actors Guild. And I went to the class and I did my monologue, but I acted like I was inexperienced, right? When I went there, it was a room full of actors, thespians like me, with credits and everything. And I got there like a little bit late, and I was like, yo, I'm really nervous, this ain't me, you know what I'm saying? I don't really like auditioning. I like to be the last one. I said I want to be last.
Sure.
And I sat there and I let everybody go up, and they was
Killing it.
killing it. And I was like, I don't know. After seeing
This is what I get for
I
going
don't know if
last.
I want to do this. But I knew I had it. I knew I was going to kill it. But I did the whole, I'm late, I'm nervous. But when I got up, I had the room in the palm of my hand. I could tell because the technique is going against the grain, where you don't cry. You fight the tears. You hold back the tears until you can't hold them back anymore. And I knew I had them because when you breathe, when you inhale, and then you hold it and you fight it, I could see the looks of the people in the audience holding back the tears. So I knew I had them. You know what I'm saying? And then the tears dropped perfectly. The tears built up and then dropped right off my lash at the perfect time in the monologue.
Now, are you thinking about the scene or thinking about, and I'm just hypothetical here, your great aunt Sadie that used to walk you to school when you were 8 years old?
Oh, no,
Who are
no,
you
it's
thinking
method.
about?
No. I use the scene. I thought about my cousin. I always think about I have people in my family. I've been through a tragic life. So I use it, Like, I don't take psych meds, but I cry. I let it out. And I use my acting as
A bridge.
a bridge to express my emotions. Just like when I was dancing, I used dance as a way to let it all out, and it helped me stay out of jail.
That's
That's
cool.
why I don't have a criminal record. I use See, I'm bipolar, so part of being bipolar is you get manic episodes. But instead of me letting
into
the press make me go do something like jump off a building, I put it into my writing.
Thank
You
God.
know, I use the arts as an outlet instead of medication. You know what I'm saying?
It's a better color brush, yeah. You don't feed your body too much stuff, and that defeats the purpose of taking it in the first place,
But the thing is, you have to be seen by the right people.
Sure.
Like if casting directors, they looking for real people in real situations. If I want somebody to play a homeless, I want a guy that looks like a real homeless guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I want somebody to play the cool dad, because that's what you look like.
When I shave.
The cool dad. You got cool dad written all over you. You could play Santa, a black Santa Claus. You got that wholesome, good guy look.
As much as I appreciate that, I want to interject on something. I told a friend of mine years ago, when I first got started in any of this, as far as voiceover is concerned, all I have to do before I die is get hired by somebody to record the Bible. And I did 3 years ago. And I gave it my absolute best. And they
You did the
appreciate
whole Bible?
I did 11 books out of the 66 and did
Like-
stellar work. They loved it. And the other thing was, for film, I wanted to play Santa Claus. Man, seriously, those two things, record the Bible for voiceover as a voice actor and be Santa Claus in whatever format, commercial, comedy, whatever, because I love kids and stuff, and I had a great childhood, and I believed in Santa Claus. I was damn near 12, believe it or not. And I got those two things back to back. And I was like, whoa, wow, God is working overtime. Now that I had those two things under my belt, I was like, well, everything else now is, it's a roller coaster ride, man. Let's have fun with this. And swing and miss ratio, my swing and miss ratio is like everybody else's, man. You go for 20 auditions, you knock out 4 gigs, and the other 16, they just ain't for you. So when you go through these stretches, I'm going to quit. If I fell down, I couldn't hit the floor. I may as well get a job collecting recycled cans. Acting isn't for me. And the day that you stop doing it,
next
your
day
phone
something
rings.
comes.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, it always happens like that.
always happens, man.
Well, see, that's the one good thing about it. You can be 90 and still do something.
Certainly.
You can still make a comeback no matter what. But see, that's what I'm saying. It's good to find your niche. If you're Gene Hackman, he played Popeye.
Your mind reader, I was thinking about him when you said it. I swear to God, I was thinking.
You
God
see
bless.
the character, he played the same type of character in all his movies. That's his niche.
He talked about it.
Power, powerful people. He played absolute power. He always plays a racist, even though Mississippi Burning, he wasn't a racist. He was against the racists, but still, that's his character.
He's a douchebag.
Unforgiving.
douchebag.
Yeah. But you see, I don't understand his death, though. I don't understand how you die, your wife died, and your dog died. And they say nothing suspicious.
I'll say this, because they were talking about it before I came down here, that the wife had, there's so many of these viruses out here that they probably created. The Hannah virus. She died from that. I believe he saw her, tried to get to her, fell. Now, he's 95 and physically not himself. Couldn't get to his cane to stand up. Probably fell, hit his head. Probably. I'm more hypothetical here. The dog died because it starved to death because it was in the cage. 1 and 1 is 2.
What about the other 2 dogs that were outside that lived?
You know what? I didn't hear about the other 2 dogs, but they were outside. So listen, Spot might be your favorite little teacup dog. You don't feed Spot for 10 days and watch him try to take a bite of your leg because he got to be fed. So the 2 dogs outside, they lived off whatever they found. They became feral. They stopped being, I'm hypothetical because I wasn't there. They became, in my opinion, feral because they were outside and nobody was feeding them. So they were feeding themselves the best way that they could. Squirrels, rats, pigeons, whatever they get their teeth on. The dog in the house was in the cage, starved to death. Nobody was there to let him out the cage.
But see, that's the thing. Let me show your commercial. Wow. Can we show his commercial?
Sure.
Cause we never showed it. That's it. And then we're gonna get back to. This is an actual. You still get paid for this?
No, what it is I came up with the concept for this, and I hired an animator to do it, and I did the voice for the black character.
That's a girl.
Hey, what are you trying to do? Like murder me or something?
My good man, I have trained for this moment for weeks now, and I fully intend to fertilize that egg.
You mean that little cotton ball looking thing is a for real live egg?
When you...
No kidding.
Well, not to be confused with your garden variety hen's egg, no doubt, but still one that requires biological stimulation to achieve cognizance.
Oh, like... Okay, if you say so.
I most certainly do say so. Now, if you'll kindly stand aside...
Not so fast, buddy boy. I got just as much right to hatch that eggy as you do. After all,
That's a girl.
I got blonde hair and blue eyes.
How utterly droll. As if those insignificant attributes are as important as having true viable qualities. I have breeding, intelligence, panache.
Who gives if you got pancakes? I say that little eggy is mine. Besides, I heard it's a white man's word on the outside, and so I'm entitled to it.
Well, isn't that interesting? This great, big old planet was created just for the white man. Gosh almighty, whatever will I do, Miss Scarlet?
What? There's a demon here with us? Where? Where?
Never mind. I have no time to bandy about words with you. Time is of the essence, so I'd appreciate your cooperation if you'd simply stand aside and let a superior individual do what must be done.
Mr. High and Almighty. I got rights. Besides, we got here at the same time, right?
Well, now that you mention it, yes.
Then let's settle this like men. Let's arm wrestle.
Of course. The typical brutish Anglo approach to achieve a desired resolution.
Okay, then rock, paper, scissors.
Enough. I must insist that you step aside and let the natural order of things take its place.
I ain't budging, hotshot. That little eggy is mine.
It's mine.
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 And so began the great debate of fatherhood between Mike the kinky-headed black guy and Spike the tattooed white boy. Who really deserves the egg? Will they ever come to a decision? Will there be snow on Christmas? Tune in next time and find out.
Bite me.
I don't know. Is the podcast supposed to be this quiet?
And some of people would make that mistake. What I'm doing color. Spike, I can't understand in his racist mind. What the hell is this colored guy doing in here with me? How can you be here at the same time I am?
I mean, she was cheating.
No, the innocence of it is you could almost make it biblical. If you believe in the two human concept like I do, being a Christian, and you got 8 billion of us now on the planet, well, everybody knows the chicken came before the egg because the damn egg can't hatch without the chicken. So if all 8 billion of us are from just two people, 100,000 years ago, let's say, I'm not sure, then every single one of us
It's related.
you got a DNA strand from somebody from Cambodia. I got a DNA strand from somebody from Scotland. Somebody got a DNA strand from somebody from Timbuktu. You can resist it if you want to, but it's funny. I was telling my kids, 23andMe has changed a lot of people's attitudes. You can believe for what it is, you know, the hair follicles and your diet, and you from Mookie Ookie Ookie, you know, because of the diet that people had there or whatever. Maybe, maybe not. But Spike doesn't understand that they can survive there at the same time because the guy that they came out of, well, he may be white on this side, but the woman he was with may be Mexican on her father's side. Yeah. And those DNA strands will trickle down. That's pure science. And it's almost like a random chance shot when you're born. Man, that's why some people are born with illnesses and missing limbs and co-joined at the head. Life is a crapshoot,
You never
man.
know.
It's a damn
Well, I
crapshoot.
think life is a crapshoot, but it's irony from the start.
From the start.
You know, from the day you're born, you're dying slowly. You're already dying. From the first day you're born, your clock is ticking.
I can stick it.
So it's a two-sided story. Everything has a catch. It's like, yeah, you're a baby, right? You come in, you need help. You got to cry to get your diaper changed and everything.
And when
Then
you're
when you get
95,
old,
you got
you
a
gotta
diaper.
cry and get help, and you
And
gotta
you-
wear a diaper and all that. So it's a catch. You're being born, you're gonna die one day.
Yeah.
You know, everything. You can be rich,
It's coming.
but
for
you can't take it with you.
You can't take it with you. I was telling you before I came down here, I just lost my girlfriend,
Yeah. My condolences.
my closest friend for 54 years. And rather than being 93 decades from now and sitting in an old folks' home and talking about all the fun we had and stuff we've been through as 93-year-old man and woman going to 60. And, you know, mind-blowing because it took all the plans I had with her for the summer right out the window. And life always makes a fool out of me because I plan and then life says, nah. Yeah, we you know, you got your plans, but God doesn't, he's got other
Yeah.
stuff for you to do.
Yeah, you might have a plan, but
Well, that old saying,
things don't always go the way you plan it.
well, they always say if you don't plan, then you plan to fail. But you life insurance is a plan. You know, you're going to croak one day, and you don't want your kids to have to collect bottles and cans to put you in the ground, right? So life insurance is a plan. It's smart to plan a business plan. But, man, it is all a guess. Any of it. Any plan is a guess. So listen, I got my business plan down pat. You walk across the street to put your business plan in the mailbox, and you get struck by a garbage truck.
Anything happen.
Anything.
Let me ask you a question. I'm thinking about doing this on YouTube, on Facebook. True or false? Agree or disagree, right? But I was gonna say true or a bag of bullshit, right? Is this true or is it just a bag of bullshit? So is this true or is it a bag of bullshit? Is it better? It is better to love and lost than to never have loved before. Do you agree with that, or is that a bag of bullshit?
It absolutely is true. Because, first of all, in my opinion, we were never born to be alone. We were never born to be solo. Shakespeare said, no man is an island. No man is an island. And what that means is you can have all the money in the world. You need somebody to clean your house. Because if you got all that money, you're too busy to clean your house. Every man and woman needs somebody to have their back while they're here. Out of 8 billion people on the planet, who counted them? I don't know. I didn't count them. But out of 8 billion people on the planet, every single one of us needs one person to have their back. If you sit in a chair from 20, you know, most guys out there doing their thing at 20, from 20 to 30 and never dated, never spoke to a woman, never tried to have a relationship with a woman and stuff like that. And you see all your buddies, they're 30, you know what I mean, and then got their significant others and stuff like that. So, wow, what did I miss out on? Sitting in this chair for 10 years and not going out there and trying. I couldn't talk to girls when I was 13. I sounded like a fool, right? Practice makes perfect. By 17, they couldn't keep up with me. 4 years of growth. 4 years of growth, 13 to 17, high school. I'm watching other guys, how they talk to girls, experience. Some girls look at you and say, I don't want to go out with you. Being turned down is cool. My oldest grandson, superlative baseball player, A student in school already. At 12, he's more of a grown man than some grown men I know. I put a picture of his report card on Facebook. I was so proud of him. And his team got shellacked 2 games in a row. I mean, brutalized. And And sometimes he was on the mound pitching. And when they came out the clubhouse, I clapped for him. And my grandson said, "Why you clapping? We lost something like by 11 runs." Now you know how to lose. Because until you get your ass kicked by life, whether it's a baseball game, a football game, women turning you down, your health, your job, until you get your ass kicked by life, you do not know how to win. Now that you know how to lose, when you win, it feels better. Can't have one without the other. You just can't. Yeah.
Well, me, I don't know. I mean, like I always say, I had a really tragic childhood. I was sexually
Sorry to hear.
abused throughout my life.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
So I was confused throughout a lot of my throughout my adult life. I was very confused, and I don't know. I turned down a lot of women that wanted to get with me, and I said no. I don't know if I was nervous, if I punked out, or they said something I didn't like. I always felt like they act like they were doing me some kind of favor. And I was like, don't do me no favors. And I was just, my father tried to tell me to become a gigolo. And told me all this shit. He sold me a lot of bags of bullshit. Because he was a bank robber and he was a womanizer. He sold drugs, he sold guns into the state. And he tried to pull me into that life. And my brother got pulled in, and my brother's doing life now. But I've never been good with women. I've never been good with women. To this day, I've been, I guess you could say I was a tyrant with some. But my father told me to manipulate them. He told me to get money from them. He told me to never mess with a woman that didn't have money. This is the shit he put in my head,
Sounds like a wonderful guy.
And he introduced me to cocaine. He fed it to me through my nose. And then I started messing with older women who would support my drug habits. So they were basically junkying me,
Right.
So I never really had a chance at love or relationship. And the thing is, now that I'm in my late 50s, I'm a lot wiser and a lot smarter now. I think I could be in a relationship. I could be a good man in a relationship now. But I'm at that point, who wants me? You know what I'm saying? Right now, at 58, younger women don't want me because I ain't rich. They don't want an older man that ain't got no money, right? And then older women, they don't want me. They want a young man. Older women my age don't want me. Don't want my age. They want young men. And young women want a rich man. So I'm not rich. And I'm not in shape. So I'm at the point where
And neither am I. My in shape days passed long ago. And don't care. I don't know about you, but once I broke 50, I gave less of a shit about what people thought about me or what I had than I did when I was 40. At 40, that
you still have
I'm 40.
peaking.
I'm 40. Oh, screw this life shit. People don't like what I say or want to hang out with me or want to date me, whatever. And then by 50, it's so like, man, I'm halfway through it. I'm pretty sure it won't be 100. So I'm halfway through it. My kids are beautiful. I got grandchildren. Women like me. I like them. I swing and miss just like all guys. I never had a rap. I had a friend, my oldest living male friend. This guy had a rap from here to Broadway. And the one thing I always thought about a guy that came with a rap, you're a used car salesman. You don't feel a damn thing. You have a preconceived script to delude women into thinking that something's going to happen with you, and it won't, beyond physical. Which, if both parties just want the physical, well, hell, and if you're both adults, and you don't have to call the cops for statutory rape, that's a good thing. You're both adults, so you got into this contract to just be physical and move on. But what you said, that is a crock of bullshit. I'll tell you why. You boxed yourself. At 58, you have more on the ball here than some guy 27 who just got here. He's trying to figure it out. get his savings together. Today, with the economy, most 27-year-old guys are either living with 7 roommates or they're living in their mother's basement, and they should, because it's too expensive out here to live on your own. And rather than move out at 20-some odd and mess it up and have to be on the sidewalk with a tin cup and a cardboard box saying, help me, stay where you are. And if you're trouble-free and you're good with your parents, they should support you until you make everything out on your own. Time hasn't passed you by. At 58, you know how young that is today. And I'm not trying to be nice. What you have in your head, life experience, what you have in your career, you can sit down with a woman in a restaurant. Listen, I have a career as an actor, right? You do? No, I didn't know that. And you draw her in with stories. Oh, yeah, man. I hung out with Morgan Freeman, and I played Kick the Can with Brad Pitt, which I couldn't believe when you just told me that.
Al Pacino.
I
had experience with him, too.
Crazy. She suddenly, through this conversation, is going to become one of your biggest fans. Not because she thinks she can meet those actors, but because, oh, man, this guy has something on the ball. Because in her 100 conversations with 100 other men, I guarantee you their experiences aren't the same as yours. You just have to make your experiences in life more fun than the other guy. Money and bullshit, be fun.
Well, I mean, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
Lovely.
Eventually, my soulmate might find me, the next one.
Sure.
I might meet somebody. I'm not looking for it.
And that's when it comes to you when you're not looking, because I'm guilty of that.
I'm not looking for it.
Because
I'm disappointed. To be totally honest, the type of woman that I want, I don't even think they exist anymore. I know they do, but, they're probably in the church somewhere. But things are not the same, man. I look at Facebook.
Oh, it's catch as catch can out here.
Yo, it's just crazy. These girls are like sending me pictures. She said, hey, baby. And then I'm like, I'm a grown-ass man. Why you calling me baby? And I don't even know why they do that, daddy. Don't call me daddy. Why do they do that? I mean, it's like, you have sex with your daddy?
Yeah,
Why you call me daddy while we having sex? That kind of turns me off. I'm like, did you do this with your father? Did your father do this shit to you?
Yeah.
Why daddy?
It's something I could never explain to you. My very first experience, I was 16 and the woman was 23, and I was totally up my league, didn't know what the hell I was doing, and she was calling me daddy. I'm 16. I read comic books. I'm in the 11th friggin' grade, and you're calling me daddy? I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
Daddy.
daddy.
She's 23 years old. I was totally out my league. And she's going, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to get through this, and you are calling. And it's all psychological. As soon as you have a thought in your head, and a lot of guys would never admit that. You know what I mean? It's all psychological when it comes down to that. It's like a sound,
but see,
a thought, and all of a sudden, you got to play take glove.
Yeah, but see, women are mixed up too, though. Because, 1 minute they want this, and this. And then when you give them this and this, they don't want that. They want what they can't have.
Complex creatures.
They want the guy that's no good for them. They want the guy that's a bad guy. They want criminal-minded. They want a thug. I'm like, I'm not a thug.
Yeah.
I'm not a thug. I grew up in the church.
I'll tell you something interesting. And you just absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark. 1,000 videos on YouTube about that very same subject. I can't figure it out. And I'm 60 and I can't figure it out. But I will say this. For every girl that wants a bad boy, I guarantee you there's no substance, because most doctors are not going to be troublesome bad boys. Most guys that are CEOs on Wall Street or stockbrokers on Wall Street pulling down 6 figures a year are probably not bad boys, right? So you can have that bad boy and have all the fun and drama that comes with it. If you're looking for a future over the age of 30 with this bad boy that probably can't keep a job, probably has a record, probably has a bad relationship with his family, probably is just an abusive dude. Wow, you want all 4 of that? all 4 of those things to hang out with a bad boy. Probably got the looks and he got a nice car. And the other guys, you don't. I saw an episode years ago of the show called The Untouchables, and they were trying to bribe Elliot Ness. And the guy put something inside of a garbage can. And Elliot Ness took out, whatever it was he took out, the guy's response was, "You just made a mistake. You took the wrong thing. You took the garbage. Most guys take the substance, they take the food. You're playing a dangerous game." See, Elliot Ness took out the thing that was less valuable. The guy thought he was going to take out the money. Elliot Ness took out a banana peel. "I don't want your money. I can't be bribed. I want you in prison where you belong." Right?
But you know the true story behind Untouchables, right?
I don't.
You know that Elliot Ness died broke and shamed. His wife left him. The feds turned on him.
Didn't know that.
No. It's sad because Elliot Ness turned down millions of dollars. He was untouchable. He really was untouchable. He risked his life. They could have killed his wife,
Easily.
right? And all of his crew, the whole untouchable crew, none of them accept bribes. Now, he got Capone on a tax
Tax
scam.
evasion.
Then Hoover, I think it's Hoover, was supposed to give him a job after he did the job with getting after Elliot caught Capone. He was supposed to get a bigger position, a bigger job, and he turned him down. And then his wife left him because he was broke, because he didn't get the position. And then she left, and then he went to drinking. So he ended up broke and desolate because Hoover, the guy in charge of the feds, turned on him. He promised to made him all these promises, what he was going to do for him, turning down all those bribes, and then he didn't give him the job. And this guy died in a bottle with no wife or nothing. See, like what you was talking, you said something earlier. See, it's like this. People need to know what it is they want to do with their life. Go to college, but know what you're going to college for.
100%.
Don't go to college for the wrong thing. Make up your mind. And it's important to have support.
For sure.
You know, like you talked about that too. See, different cultures are different. When I was young, I dated girls that had diplomatic immunity. One was from Zaire, one was from Africa. I went through that stage where I didn't even want to be considered American. But the girls were telling me that in their culture, the parents don't kick them out the house until they finish school. They have to go to college and everything and get their job. They always can come back home.
Sure.
You know, and that they emphasize on education. And then, you know, Chinese people put their money together. You know, one time I saw this big ass truck, like a van, like a house on wheels, custom, brand new. You know, not like a trailer, but brand new, all automatic doors and everything. And a bunch of Chinese people. I said, "What's this?" He said, "We're a family. We put our credit money together, and we buy stuff on credit." And they buy big. And I'm like, America is crooked, right? You can't enslave people for 500 years and not be crooked, right? Donald Trump is a convicted criminal, and he's the president of the United States. This country respects crime. Do you understand?
Yeah.
He doesn't even respect the government, all the rules. This nigga got into the White House even though he had 30-something charges against him.
Well,
You know?
he didn't walk through the door. How did he get there?
Well, I'm just saying that
Well, that's very important.
you can make money in America.
Right.
They respect making money.
Absolutely.
You'll get less time for fraud than you will for killing somebody,
Yeah.
right? So, like for instance, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump offers P. Diddy a deal. He has the power to, I mean, look at Biden.
Right.
His son was a crackhead. He got him out of jail,
Yeah.
right? He
And I got my son out of
got
jail.
everything. I would have did it too. He got his son. He had the power to do it. He'd be
Sure.
an asshole to let his son go.
Absolutely.
Right. But he got his son out. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump says to Diddy, yo, give me all you got and you can have your freedom.
He's a wheeler dealer.
I wouldn't be
Businessman.
surprised.
Not a politician. He's a wheeler dealer. But again, to the point I was trying to make before was, not him. And I hate to put him and Obama in the same sentence. Sorry, Obama, but he didn't elect himself. Obama didn't elect himself. The Clinton didn't elect himself. The Bushes didn't elect him. Eisenhower, Kennedy, none of them elected themselves. They had enough rap, or charisma, or whatever to have the American public, which has the right to vote any way they want to, vote these men in office. And we may not like their decision, but when your guy didn't win, somebody else's guy did win. And I've been telling, and it's usually women that can't stand Trump, and that's not gender bias. If it's that bad, here's my solution for you. You must go to Okefenokee and stay there for the next 4 years until his office of term is up.
What's
Because-
Okefenokee?
It's Okefenokee is an old-fashioned term of saying so far away the place doesn't even have a name.
Well,
right?
I don't.
So what I'm saying is, if that's the hardest thing, because I know people who have lost their minds between November when he won and now, and the only thing I can offer them is this: put your head down and pray that he doesn't send us to World War III,
He is.
or pack your bags and relocate to Okefenokee until 2029.
There's no place to go.
Right. Well, but here's the thing. But here's a fact. I swear to you, this planet has 7 continents on it. And I will include the giant iceberg upstate called Antarctica because there are scientists that live on there. So it's livable. You have 6 other choice continents to go to if America is not for you because this whack job is in charge. And I almost lost a very good friend because I said to her, there's no such thing as a human being that's ever lived that only lied. Every human being that's ever lived told the truth once. Every single human being. You know when they told the truth? When they either told their birthday or their name. If you were honest about your birthday or your name, and I think every human being at 10 years old is honest about his name and his birthday, or her name and her birthday, because why wouldn't you tell somebody your name and your real birthday when you're 10? It's an automatic reflex. Oh, that's my birthday too. It's an automatic reflex. So every human being that's ever lived has told the truth one time. Mussolini, Hitler, Trump, and any other bad guy you could think of has told the truth one time in their life. There's no such thing as a person that lied 100% in their life, and I just proved it to you.
I understand. I mean, you're just reiterating the same point.
Yeah, but it's you don't have to like this lunatic. But the truth of it is, so many actors, speaking of actors, so many actors said, I'm leaving if he wins. I wish I had a camera on every airport, transit system, bus line that leaves this city or this country to see how many of those actors actually left after he won. I bet you it ain't 3, because talk is cheap. You're hurt, you're disappointed, but you write it out. The first thing I put on Facebook when he won was five passages from the Bible where the Lord said, I allow kings, principalities, and things of that nature. When I don't allow it anymore, I remove that person from office. We call it impeachment. The Lord may take him out by heart attack, stroke, lightning bolt, runaway train, right? So you lean on those 5 verses and you lean on the Lord because now there's nothing that can be done. He's not going to be impeached. He's probably going to live out his term. It's too mean to die. He's probably going to live out his term. And for the next 4 years, everybody has to grit their teeth and bear it. When he won the first time, I put up a quote by George Washington. They asked him, "So George, what political party are you standing on, old man?" And Washington said, "I don't believe in a two-party system. I'm running independently. Because the day that we have a two-party system will bring about the ruination of the 13 colonies, because it wasn't even America, the states at that time, it was the 13 colonies. If we have a two-party system, there's going to be Jacobites, fights, arguments, insurrection, and all this other stuff that leads to tearing the 13 colonies apart." And he was right. You know? And, you know,
Well, I think that
what do you do except pray for the next 4 years? That's the only power we have right now.
well, I don't know what the hell. I mean, I'm like, how do you have when he became the president before? He had Putin in the White House for a private meeting. Why? Then I heard he had the Taliban, the terrorists, at Camp David for drinks.
The enemy of my
Why?
enemy is my friend. And I never know, and you and I will never know, because it's not in our pay grade to know.
No, I'm saying
has
no,
handshake
common
deals?
sense, man.
Right,
How
but I'm
you
talking
haven't-
handshake deals. We don't know what these guys do in the cover of darkness. We'll never know.
Yeah, but I mean, let me just say, common sense. You know, here it is. You're inviting the enemy to drink at the Camp David. That when Amala said it, I was like, wow, he's shaking hands with our enemies. You
You
know?
ever heard that saying, though? Keep your enemies closer than your friends.
Yeah,
And I
but-
believe that.
Yeah,
I like
but,
to know what you're thinking.
Yeah, it's also something called two-faced. You know what I'm saying? Where you smile in one face and stabbing in the back. I mean, why would you sell weapons to our enemies? He's selling weapons to our enemies, but he's also distancing us from our allies. He's turning our allies against us. What do you do? Hold on. What do you do when we run out of weapons from giving? He's talking about. Did you hear him? He's saying he wants to.
You got it, Rob.
My cutoff is at 58 minutes.
I thought Corey said 56.
56.
In that next 2.5 minutes, I'm going to say something that might not make sense, but I'm going to try to make it make
Go
sense.
ahead.
You realize that during the Civil War period, the American Indians had repeating rifles. They had repeating rifles. They did. My question is, they had no manufacturing plants to make rifles or bullets, but they had repeating rifles. Why? Because whatever white man was dealing on both sides to the white guys and selling guns to the Indians and playing middleman did it for the money. This, what they're doing, what he's doing in the White House, is the same thing as those white gun runners giving guns to the American Indian, knowing that they're going to kill your white counterparts. It's the same deal. Where there's money, it ain't funny. And the guys in the middle will play both sides, either for political gain or whatever. And we both know the wealthy make money off war. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what it comes down to. I don't think Trump cares about any ethnicity, any political base, I think it's hard for him to care. I don't know him. I think it's very hard for him to care. But while he's in there, he's going to run America
He's pimping
America.
He's
Bingo.
pimping America.
Bingo.
How you gonna say? He said he wants to take over the Gulf. Then it's not gonna be called Mexican anymore. He wants to take a part of Israel. He wants to send the Palestinians back to where they were, and he wants to change that whole area into the Taj Mahal.
You know, you know, and I can't prove this, but you know that he knew as he's saying the words, man, I wonder how many suckers are going to think I'm absolutely honest about what I'm saying. If you think that he thought that he can honestly change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, then I'm not sitting here in this chair. You've seen crime shows where the judge says, strike that from the record.
He's trying to see how far he can
Before I
go.
can go. You've seen judges on these shows that strike that from the record. Yeah. You've seen judges on these TV shows, right? The attorney, strike that from the record. What didn't happen? You didn't strike it from the memory of the jury that heard that lie. So we're going to go into the jury
Because it was
room.
heard. It was said.
You got it. So it doesn't matter that he said these things. Because most people, most sane ones are going to say,
Don't take him serious.
the Gulf of America?
Yeah, but
Really,
that's not
Donald?
even. That's not the. What I'm saying. He's doing a lot of things that remind me of Hitler, and so does Putin. See, the thing is, for Putin to attack Russia, right? Ukraine. He attacked Ukraine. There are a lot of other Ukraine, Romania. There are a lot of European countries that are afraid now because he attacked one. He's gonna go through all of them the same way Hitler did.
You think so? The Prime Minister of Poland was on the news today, and he's talking about ramping up his military to 500,000 men and women because he's afraid that Putin is going to turn his next target on him.
He is.
So what you said is so profound. We
It's the same thing
covered
as
88
Hitler.
subjects here, but like we gotta wrap it up, Mike.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up
That
right now.
was
Okay.
very interesting.
Yeah, I want to do this another part
Absolutely,
to this.
absolutely.
You know, because what's important is where we stand and how we prepare ourselves to prepare for the worst. Because, for one, if you are telling people that you're going to deport them, when he first said it, there were people being harassed that were American citizens. And they were being searched for their ID, had ID, and was still taken through the system. So you're giving a lot of power to the people who check IDs, the border people. What if they don't like you? They can easily say, well, we can't find her ID. And now you're stuck somewhere. Or you go away and you can't get back.
You can't get back.
You know, they tell you have to renounce America if you go and you're going to stay. People are going to get mad.
It's a very large game.
All of these people that are here, that are from Venezuela and all that, they illegal immigrants. Lady got burnt on a train, set on fire on a train.
Well, give the devil his due.
It's going to get worse.
Well, he may be going about it the wrong way, but I believe in this. Do you know that
30 seconds.
100 illegal aliens who are here to do criminal things
Yeah.
can do something to 100 American women, no matter what color, race, ethnicity are, they're women, run back across that border and come back 6 months later and do it again because they're undocumented. I'm no hand-holding, tear-drying, candy man. If you're here legally, you're here legally. And if you're not here legally, make
Get the
yourself
fuck
legal
out.
because if not, knock, who's there? ICE.
Yeah.
When they knock on my
that's the
door,
only
it's
thing.
Federal Express, it's UPS, or it's the mailman. I never have fear of somebody knocking on my door.
We're done. I'm over time. I didn't even get to say goodbye. Hey,
That's great. All right,
that's
man.
it. We're done,
That was
right?
good. That was good,
Alright.
though. Yeah,
My-
he's crazy, Trump. He just say things, but he cannot do it. He's
No,
not
he
gonna
can't.
do it.
And he knows
He
that.
already said he's not gonna put tariff on Mexico and Canada. He left to April, and then he said, "No, I'm not gonna do it." He just do this to annoy people, but he should go to jail.
He should be in jail already.
Yeah.
4 times